We're in the Bavli Maseches Gittin Daf Lamed Dalet Amud Beis. But he showed how you mashanish shmei b'shma b'shem yiro b'shem yiro. In the beginning, before Rabbi Gamliel's takanas, Rabbi Gamliel made a lot of takanas to be misak in the Indian of Gittin. So in the beginning, they would just write down his name and her name, the name of his city, and the name of her city, and they wouldn't, even if he had other names, they would just go by the name that he was known by. His skin, Rabbi Gamliel, Azaken Shei Kaisef Ish Plaini v'Chol Shum Sheyeshla. Isha Plaini v'Chol Shum Sheyeshla Mipnei Tikkun Olam. Rabbi Gamliel was misakin to add in all to write v'Chol Shum Sheyeshla and all other names that he had, so that people won't think that it's not the same guy. Okay, so the Gemara has a story. The people from the Medina Sayyam, he explains the reason why the people from Medina Sayyam wrote to Rabbi Gamliel. There's people who come from Eretz Yisrael to here. He has a name Yosef in Eretz Yisrael, but they call him Yechanan here, or his name was Yechanan, they call him Yosef. It's interesting why the Gemara specifically chose Yosef and Yechanan. How do they divorce their wives? Because you're going to write one name, but they're known by the other name in Bavli. So it's a problem. Therefore, Rabbi Gamliel said, in order to make sure that the get it's accepted, you should write v'chol shem sheyeshla v'chol shem sheyeshla. You only have to write this if we know that he has two names. Well, if he doesn't have two names, you don't have to write v'chol shem sheyeshla. Rashi says, even if noida lachar zman that he had another name, it's okay. All we have is a name that he called himself in front of us. Interesting. I don't see what the big deal is. Just add in v'chol shem sheyeshla. Saying what does it hurt to just write that? I don't know. I guess he's just saying you don't have a chiyuv. So if you didn't do it, you're okay. I don't know if he's saying that you shouldn't. Rav Mori and Rav Elazar hold like you. Tani Kavasei the Ravashi. There's a brayso that supports Ravashi. If there was a person who had two wives, he had two names, two wives, one Yehuda, one in the Galil, and he had two names, one Yehuda and one in the Galil. And he divorced his wife in Yehuda with his name Yehuda. He has to say, put in both names. Because there's a chazaka. It's interesting. Here it says you have to write both names, and the lashon of the Mishnah is you just write v'chol shum sheyeshlo. Oh, maybe it means that you should write the name, the other name that he's known by. You should write all the names that he's known by. I don't know if it means that you write the lashon v'chol shum sheyeshlo. You should write the name that he's known by. So then the brayso continues. Yel tzalabak macher megadash be'echad mehem. Let's say he went somewhere else and he was megadash with one of his names, mugureshes. So the Gemara right away analyzes and asks, we said you have to write both names. So what do you mean if you just wrote one name, it's okay? In Yehud and Galil, he was nischadzik that he has two names, so that's why he has to write both of them. In the third place, he didn't have the chazaka with two names, so it was okay to only write one of them. Shema Mino. Gemara has a story. They called her Miriam, and some people called her Sarah, so the majority of people called her Miriam. In Ardo, they said you should write Miriam and all other names that she has. Okay. And then where? Yeah. I'm sorry. I take responsibility.
I had a patient who once had that. He had one wife in Ottawa and another wife in Montreal.
Oh wow! And he would commute back and forth.
It did not end well for him. He didn't. Both wives did not know. It did not end well for him.
Oh, they didn't know. Is that why he was your patient? He ended up in the emergency room.
He ended up dead.
Oh, they killed him?
No, I think the stress of the whole thing.
Oh, I see.
You're what an idiot.
Yeah, it's not a good thing to do, especially in those days where mamish couldn't travel so easily. For sure, also today. So you call her by her main name, and then you write. Maybe you do write v'chol shum sheyeshla. V'chol shum. I don't know if you have to actually write out the second name, or do you write? I think. Okay, I'm sorry about that. We are up to the Mishnah, the second Mishnah on Daf Lamed Daled Amud Beis. It was my mistake. We were supposed to start at 9:45, and I just
second Mishnah in the Yerushalmi.
No, we're in the Bavli and Daf Lamed Daled Amud Beis, the second Mishnah on the page. So we'll do one more. We'll try to do a Daf in the.
Amud Daled or
Lamed Daled Amud Beis. Okay, the Mishnah says, oh, I'll give you a minute to find it.
You'll what?
34b, the second Mishnah. It's like towards the bottom of the page.
I see it. In
Okay.
Almanach.
That's right. Fantastic. Okay, now we're getting into another one of the Rabbi Gamliel's Takanas. The first one was if you have two names, you have to write your main name plus any other name you have. An almana, when she's a widow, yeah, she's supposed to get her ksuba. She cannot take from the nechasim of the yisoyim. She can't get paid her ksuba from property of the orphans unless she gives an oath. But then they stopped giving her the oath. So how does she collect her ksuba? Well, what's her options? She doesn't have. So he's going to instead of making a shavua, she'll make a neder, which I guess is less severe. Doesn't have nikitas chayfetz, that you're holding an object and so on. I guess the punishment for transgressing a neder is not as bad. And what would she write? She would say kol ma sheyirtzu. No, we'll see in a minute. It's not just transgressing. Okay. Whatever they ask her to make a nether, she'll make a nether. In other words, the nether will be Shavua is the nether is if I already took some money from the property, then I'll be forbidden for me to do kach l'kach. So they'll tell her make a nether, whatever. But goyvik subasa. The witnesses sign and they get because of tikkun olam. It's interesting that they added it in here. The whole idea of principle so you could collect your debts even after the Shemitah year. The Gemara asks Akasha, why do we say that almana needs a shavua? Everybody needs a shavua when you're taking debt from the nichsi yisayim. The kaimelon, abali parim nichsi yisayim li parim b'shavua. We've established that somebody wants to be paid from the nichsi yisayim. You need to make a shavua. So why do we say an almana needs to make a shavua? Everyone has to make a shavua if you want to take from the nichsi yisayim, from the property of the orphans. Almana tzrichale, we specifically need to say an almana. You might think because of chain, because we want to show favor to the woman in order for her to be willing to get married, just in case she wants to know if she's financially secure. So maybe the chum will be lenient and say she doesn't have to make a shavua. Even she will have to make a shavua if she wants to collect from the nichsi yisayim. Like Mar goes on, even the they stop making her make a shavua. My time, what's the reason? If you're going to say it's because of Ravkana said, but say this was a person in a year famine. He deposited a golden coin by an almana. She left it in the jug of flour, which in a way is a smart place to put it. In a way, it's not a smart place to put it because we'll see what happened. But by mistake, she baked the flour into bread. She gave it to a poor person. She didn't even realize it was in the loaf of bread. She gave it to a poor person. So what happens? The guy comes back. After a while, the Bala dinner said, "Give me my dinner." She said, She made an oath. She made a shavua. She didn't make a neder that if I took from it, then it will be forbidden to me to do da. She made a shavua. An oath is the potion of death should take her children if I had benefit from the nether. And I think that's a mistake. I think she should have said something about herself. Why put it on her kids? Anyway, that's just my opinion. I mean, the same thing happened with Yaakov and his wife Rachel, right? With Lavan and the idols. If you want to make an oath, make it about yourself. It's not about one of your kids or one of your loved ones. Anyhow, the story is, one of her children died after a short period of time. B'chlal, you shouldn't do such a thing. You shouldn't make an oath. It's not worth the gold coin to make an oath in somebody's life. No, it's just a gold coin after all. Whatever. Anyway, that's just my terrorist on the story. They say you shouldn't ask questions on a story. That's just my analysis. Because when the Chacham heard what had happened, Omru, they said like this: she made it true. It was true. She didn't have benefit from it. She just gave it to a poor person. So if you make an oath false. So now the Gemara asks the obvious question: my time Yancha, why was she punished? The fact is, there was, instead of giving a full loaf of bread, the dinner took up a certain amount of space, so she had a certain benefit from it. The space of a dinner, a very, very minute benefit, because she didn't sell it; she gave it as a tzedakah. But that tiny space was considered enough to make one of her children die. So the Gemara asks, so my mishin ish bebemis, what do you mean ish bebemis? The fact is she did have benefit from it. Kim mishin ish bebemis. It was so minute, it was as if she made the oath in truth, and nevertheless Hashem caused one of her sons to die. So the Gemara now asks the obvious question: if this is the reason that we're worried about making oaths, because the punishment for an oath is so severe, so why do we only say that the almana shouldn't make the oath? Also, a grusha shouldn't make the oath. The truth is, they should make in truth, you could broaden the question and say, no one should make the oath. No one should make any oath ever. So why specifically the almana more than anyone else? Alama, what do we see? The Zayda says in the name of Shmuel that we're only talking about almana, but a grusha will be able to make the shavua in order to collect her ksuba. What's the difference? The answer is there's another component here. Almana shiny, almana is different. The fact is she's taking care of the orphans. She might be their mother or the stepmother, depending on the situation. Because she's troubling herself to help them. She's going to say, "Oh, it's not coming to pay my ksuba. This is that she helped herself some parts of the estate. It's not because of her ksuba, because she was helping them. So because of that, we're worried about her making a shavua. We don't want her to get punished severely." Now, the truth is, in that story, her punishment was so severe because she added it in. She said that one of my sons should die. You don't have to say that. But I'll kol panim, we see how strong the shavua is, that right away one of her sons died. So it has a terrible effect. So even if you wouldn't make a tanai, it would be, you get terribly punished. Rav Yehuda said the name Rav Yirmiyah. Rav Shmuel Damri Tarvayu Leishana LeBebezdin Avachutz LeBezdin Mashbiyan Oiso. Both Rav and Shmuel said that we're only talking about in Bezdin. Rashi explains what's so strict about Bezdin. We read the Rashi. Sheshvuas hadayonim shel Torah. When the dayonim make you make an oath, it's shel Torah. V'nokat sefer Torah b'yodeha tefillin. She holds a sefer Torah tefillin in her hands. Mashbiya lo b'shem. B'kinoi. You make her make the oath in Hashem's name or with one of the kinuyim. Eliezer had to put his hand under Avram's bris milah, which is an interesting thing. Whatever, he touched the mitzvah. Punishment is much more in Bezin. Out of Bezin, the shavua, the punishment is there's a klala that happens, a curse, but you're not holding anything, and the punishment is not so bad. So that's why outside of Bezin, it's not a problem. Oh, so we have a leniency. There's a leniency. She doesn't want to make an if let's say whatever. I mean, you could always do the neder, but you could do a shavua out of Bezin. So Frek the Gemara Kasha, the Gemara asks a question. Is that so? But Rav Rav wouldn't take a ksuba for a widow. He wouldn't take a period. He could just make the shua out of Bezdin. Gosh, that's a question. Surah Masnu Hachi. This was Surah's version. In Benardo Masnu Hachi. In Ardo, they had a different version. So Vila says in the name of Shmuel, it's only in Bezdin, out of Bezdin, you can make her make the oath. Rav says, afilu chutz Bezdin nami in mashbino. Even out of Bezdin, you can't make her make the oath. Rav l'taimi. Rav is going according to his reasoning. The Rav le'mikvik suva l'armelosa. Rav didn't collect the ksuba b'chlal for a widow. She was out of options. It sounds like unfair, honestly. In Rav's times, in Rav's domain, where he was the Rav, no widows were able to get their ksuba. So the Gemara asks the question, what about the neder? What about the option in the Mishnah of making the orphans give her a neder, that if she does so and so, if she had to benefit from the money before, then she'll be forbidden for whatever it is. Says the Gemara, people didn't take nedarim seriously, so that also wasn't an option in Rav's years. Okay, so one of Rav's students, Ravuna was one of Rav's students, and there was a woman who came in front of Ravuna when she wanted to collect her ksuba. She was an almana. He told her, "Ma avid loch." I said, "What can I do? I can't do anything for you." The Rav le'magvik ksuba l'armalos. Rav would not collect the ksuba for widows. Midu time el dilma nekitno midi miksubasi. The whole reason is because you're worried that I might have paid already, taken something from the estate to get paid for my ksuba. Chai Hashem voice by the life of Hashem. If I had any benefit from my ksuba. So she made an oath. Rav would be made if she went ahead and made the oath anyway, without permission, then you could collect her ksuba. So because she made the oath, she gets to collect it. So theoretically, you could give somebody, even though it wasn't with the kitas chayfetz or anything, she just made the oath, it's good enough. I mean, theoretically, if she was a woman who's desperate for money, you could give her advice. Just go in front of the bezdin and quickly and make the oath before they could stop you. Okay. I don't know if you should be giving advice to people to break the takanas of the chachamim, you know. There was a woman who came in front of Rabba Baravuna. Omer lo maya avidlich. He told her, there's nothing I can do for you. The Rav le'magvik ksuba l'armelosa. Both Rav and Abamori would not collect the ksuba for a widow. So she said, if you're not going to give me my ksuba, at least give me the mezainis. The din is you get mezainis until you collect your ksuba. Told her mezainis also you don't have. Because Rav Yehuda said in the Mishmol, if you ask for your ksuba and bezin, you don't have mezainis, so you lost out. You didn't realize that we don't. It's interesting that they didn't realize, these women. It should be known to everyone that widows don't get their ksuba. It says if you ask for your ksuba and bezin, you don't have mezainis. So you ask for your ksuba, you lose both. His chair should be flipped over. He should lose his greatness. You're passing both like Rav and Shmuel. You're passing like Rav that I can't collect my ksuba, and you're passing like Shmuel that I can't get my mezainis. They were afraid of her curse, so they flipped over his chair, and they tried to be metadatz her curse, and that they just physically flipped it over, even though she meant you should lose your greatness. Nevertheless, he wasn't saved from getting sick. He got ill from the woman's curse. So it's interesting. Is it because she was right, or is it because just she was suffering and she said something and out of anguish? The Gemara doesn't say that she was right. I don't know.
But sorry, how is she not right? He had a monetary obligation to do it for her, and they have made it that she can't collect. There's got to be a way.
Oh, you're saying in general, like how could Rav do such a thing to not allow her to collect her ksuba? Right,
This is a man of the greatest of the great. Like it seems like it's a technicality
for a poor widow.
Yeah,
I hear you. No, I think you have a very strong point. I don't know the answer. In many ways, I agree with you. Okay, we'll see. Actually, the next opinion is just kind of like what you were doing. Omer later of Yehuda of Yirmiyah Biro Adra bebezin v'ashba chutza bezin. He gave both solutions. Either make her make a nether in bezin, or if you want to make a shavua, do it out of bezin. V'leise kolo v'leipel beudne. I want it to come out. I want the voice, the rumor to come out, not the rumor, like the facts to come out, and everybody should hear it. The beino. I want people to know that I'm passing like Shmuel. Rashi says Shmuel Rabbi, in order basically to make sure that the Talmidim of Rav, like Rav Huna, they should also know that we should collect subas for widows. Okay. Gufo Amar Rab Zeda Shmuel Leishanu Lamana of Grusha Mashminais. Reb Zeda said in the name of Shmuel, we're only talking about an amana, but a grusha makes an oath. The grusha da'adra loy. Question is, what about a nether? What about the solution of a nether? It seems like not, because if you have the option of an oath, you're not going to make a nether. Nether is just like the solution. But the question is, it seems like not, because if you have the shavua, we shouldn't be able to do the nether. They sent from Eretz Yisrael. There was a certain woman who received a get from her husband, Acham Bar Hidya, that he's also called Ayimari. So they said both his names. I guess you do mention both names, not just V'chol Shum Sheyesh Lahem. That's just saying, right, the other name. V'nodras. And she made a nether. She said all the fruits of the world would be forbidden for her if she had already taken her ksuba. She only received from ksuba. Rashi says a dress. The Sefer Tilim Echad, the Sefer Tilim, the Sefer Iyov. Very interesting. It's like a very historical story. You know, like what they had in those days. All she had gotten so far was a dress, a Tilim, an Iyov, Mem Shalois, Bluyim, and a Mishlei, and they're worn out. We're on the next page now. Lamed Ham and Beis. We evaluated that what she had received so far is 5 months. When she's going to come to you in Bavli, where the estate of the husband was, you should collect the rest. And she was a grusha, she wasn't an amana, and she made a nether. So you see, you could make a nether. Who get Yavam and Hava? That was a get of a Yavama. So there was an element of an amana there. He gave her the get to make sure she doesn't have to do yibum. But really, she was an almana. So even though it doesn't say it in the story, it says that she received the get from Acham Bar Hidya. She was also an almana. So because she was also an almana, she was able to do the nether. Otherwise, if you're purely a grusha, you can't do the nether. You have to do a shavua. You have to do an oath. Okay, we're up to Lamed Hamad Beis in the Bavli by the 2 dots. I think we'll stop here in the Bavli and we'll start the Yerushalmi now. We don't have so much time because I have to stop early. Yeah. Okay. We're in the Yerushalmi. We're in the beginning of Perek Revi. Let me know when you have it.
I've got it.
David, Baruch, you guys have it?
Are they there?
Yeah, I just muted them. They should be there. Okay, let's start. Sorry. Okay. The Mishnah says, I actually have a backlog with the Bavli. With Yerushalmi, I mean. Wow, yeah, we're We're much far behind with the Yerushalmi. Hashaliach get liishtoi. Somebody sends a get to his wife. And then he met the shliach to be mevatel, or he sent another shliach to be mevatel. And he said that the get that I sent you is nullified. It's nullified. If he first came to the wife before she received the get, or he sent to her a shliach. How do you bottle? It's bottle. But the moment the get reaches her hands, he can no longer be mevatel. Says the Pnei Moshe, the Mishnah is teaching you that even though we see him running after to try to be mevatel, it doesn't help because she got the get first. So in our Mishnah, it seems like it says that you could be mevatel the shlichus. The Yochanan says, the Pnei Moshe explains, there's a Gemara Maseches Kedushin, Yerushalmi Maseches Kedushin. If you have a woman who gave permission to her shliach to be mekadesher, and he went, and instead of he gave permission, you have a woman who gave permission to her shliach to be mekadesher. And then instead of her shliach being mekadesher, she went and was mekadesh herself. So what's the din? She's able to be chayzer from the shlichus and do it herself, because a person can be vatal his shliach with dvarim. So just like by kiddushin, you could be mevatel the shliach of kiddushin with dvarim, you should also be able to be mevatel the get alain with dvarim, not just the shlichus, the get alain, the get itself. Rabbi Yochanan says, even though when it comes to Kedushin, it's dibur against dibur. By the get, however, which is a star, it's different. A get is different. Can't be mevatel the get itself. Also, shliach lahilichas a get. Let's say he made a shliach lahalacha to bring her the get. He's going to have to have Eidim Mesira. You have to give it to her in front of two witnesses, and on top of that, the Eid will be the third witness. It's L'kiyum Ashtar, and you need 3 people. So the Shliach is the third person. So you have 2 plus the Shliach. Sorry. Holach Shliach Levatel Saget. If the Shliach went to be Mevatel the get, Tzarch Levatli Bifnei Shnayim. If the shliach went to be mevatel the get, you have to be mevatel the get in front of 2 people, and the shliach counts as part of the two people. In other words, let's say the Baal sent the shliach after the first shliach to be mevatel the get. You need 2 people to be mevatel it, and the shliach counts as one of them. It's not, you don't need 3. Only to be send the get, you need 3. To give in front of the woman, you need 3. But not to be mevatel the get. Let's say the Baal went to mevatel the get and he found the shliach who was in a public square. He said, "Where's the get? What happened to the get? Did you give it to her?" He said, "I gave her the get." Or Yavili law, the name I should change his girsa. So the Gemara asks, Mi mishtani shama nafal mine. No, the Gemara says, Mi mishtani shama nafal mine. While he was talking, he heard the get falling from him. So l'chayda, how could he have said, Didn't you say that you already gave it to the woman? He said, I gave it to her, but she gave it back to me. Ma. So the question is, what's the din? Do we say that because the shliach had the koyach to be megadish, he's believed, and the Baal is no longer able to mevatel the get, or the fact that the get's still in his hands, maybe ein an emon, maybe he's not going to be believed, and he's going to be able to be mevatel the get? Is he neman or not neman? We don't know the answer. So the question is, if the shliach got sick, can he make another shliach to be about to the get. Let's say the Baal sent one shliach, then he sent another shliach after him to be about to the get, but that shliach became milk, and he make a second shliach to be about to the get. We said that if you have a shliach for the get, he's able, if chola, he could send it with somebody else. We had in the Mishnah before, because everybody can be megadish, or like kiddushin, you cannot be make another shliach because not everyone can be megadish. So we don't have the answer. Again, we don't have the answer. In tavdino ki gittin biad kol matzah legadish. In tavdino ki kiddushin loy biad kol matzah legadish. No answer. Okay, we'll actually have to stop here because it's the beginning of a new Mishnah, and it's like a big sugya.